This week, as many of us gather with family, blood, and chosen, thousands of families won't be whole. Not because of distance or circumstance, but because ICE agents broke down doors, pointed guns at compliant people, and disappeared them into a system with zero accountability. And I'm not asking you to hold space. I'm asking you to recognize what's happening and to call it what it is: targeted kidnappings, torture in internment camps, and state-sanctioned violence against brown and black people. Communities are being terrorized, families are being destroyed, and most people have no idea the extent of the trauma and abuse being inflicted onto these families, or they're choosing not to see it. Families like Jennifer's, whose uncle was kidnapped in late June. He had just finished doing laundry and was on his way to pick up his kids when 3 vehicles, all unmarked, one with Arizona plates, boxed him in. He rolled down his window slightly and asked the most basic questions anyone would ask. Who are you? What are you looking for? And do you have a warrant?
Do you have a warrant for his arrest? ¿Cuál es su nombre? ¿Cuál es su nombre? ¿Cuál es su nombre? Dígame. Su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento.
Hey, make sure he has something. Does he have anything he needs? Let us sit real quick. Let us sit.
Do you have a warrant? What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number? Do you have a signed warrant? What's his name and badge number, please? Do you have a warrant? Fucking kidnappers! There's unmarked vehicles with Arizona plates.
And no one answered. Instead, they broke his window. They pointed guns at him, even though he was fully compliant, and forcefully removed him from his vehicle with no explanation, no warrant, no identification, and no badges. Bystanders filmed it. A woman even asked, "What's your badge number? Where is your warrant?" And nothing. They just stole him. Jennifer's family later found out he was taken to the San Bernardino ICE detention center. When her aunt went to ask why her husband was being detained, she wasn't given any answers. A racist, ignorant officer handed her some paperwork instead and said, "Here, so your family can just go ahead and self-deport." He's being held in a basement. He's been wearing the same clothes since he was detained in June. The only food he's received are cold burritos. People are drinking water from toilets. It's freezing, there is lice everywhere, and they're being treated like animals. Inside, Jennifer's uncle and others have not been given basic hygiene supplies. They're, again, wearing the same clothes and haven't had access to showers, they haven't brushed their teeth, and are being forced to sleep on cold floors without a single blanket. One elderly man tried to use a trash bag for warmth and was punished for it. And then on Tuesday, June 24th, somebody died inside that very facility. A man had a seizure. He was diabetic and he was not given medical attention in time. He died in there, in detention, alone, because no one helped him. Because the conditions are so inhumane that a preventable death happened. And it will barely make the news. And it has barely made the news. His family will grieve him while the system that killed him continues to operate without any consequences. That's what's happening in these facilities. People are dying. And also on June 25th, on Wednesday, Jennifer and her aunt went to the Metropolitan Detention Center in LA where he was initially being held. There were many people and many families in line, and people were bringing snacks, water, and supporting each other with resources and phone numbers. It was heartbreaking. Everyone there was hoping to see somebody they loved, like Jennifer's uncle, who again had been kidnapped by bounty hunters. Or it could have even been individuals impersonating federal agents. We don't know. The officers on duty were completely disorganized. Many families, including Jennifer's, were denied the chance to see their loved ones. While waiting, they met a woman whose son was unlawfully detained in Santa Ana. He had been walking when he was surrounded by these so-called agents. And despite showing his US ID and stating that he had a social security number, they detained him anyway, which was a clear and overt case of racial profiling. And suddenly at this point, they lost contact with Jennifer's uncle. He didn't call, and they received no official updates. Desperate, her aunt checked the ICE detainee locator online and discovered he had been sent all the way to El Paso, Texas, without any notice or any explanation. He still hasn't been able to call, and they're sure he's worried that he probably thinks that they don't even know where he is. Thankfully, they found him through this locator, but now he's dangerously close to the border and could be deported at any moment. To this day, he hasn't been told why he was detained, who detained him, or shown any warrant. Again, he was detained in June, and it is now November. The U.S. government is continuing to detain undocumented immigrants and immigrants or people who speak Spanish with no criminal backgrounds at all, and U.S. citizens, plenty of them, based purely on racial profiling, and holding them in inhumane conditions. The Mexican consulate interviewed Jennifer's uncle and others, asking only a few basic questions like, how long have you been in the U.S.? Why were you detained? And whether they wanted to stay. He was told he would be transferred either to Adelanto or San Diego, despite Adelanto being notorious for its abusive conditions and already under pressure to be shut down. It wasn't even ICE that detained him, but an agency, and I'm saying an agency in quotes, for every undocumented person they kidnap. They receive commission. To this day, they, again, still haven't been told which agency or who the people were. As I've talked about before, much of my work in this space has been informed by my own lived experiences with and my proximity to complex trauma. And the thing I wish more people understood about what's happening to Jennifer's family and to all these families is that this pain doesn't end when he gets out, if he gets out. These people never get that time back, and they never return to the bodies that were theirs before this trauma occurred. This experience will not leave them. The trauma will surface in every interaction, in every decision, and in every quiet moment for the rest of their lives. It changes how you trust people, how you answer the door, how you react to cars pulling up behind you. It shows up when you're trying to eat, but your stomach is in knots. When you can't sleep because every sound outside feels like a threat and puts your body into survival mode. It'll show up when you flinch at uniforms, when you avoid certain streets, when you teach your children to be afraid of the people who are supposed to protect you. Your nervous system stays on permanent high alert. Your body remembers the terror even when your mind tries to move forward. This experience permanently rewires how you exist in the world, how you parent, how you work, how you love, and how you simply try to live. That trauma doesn't ever fade. It lives in their bones and in their children's bones and in the fabric of the entire communities who now know that safety is conditional. And as people, we've got to do better. This all ends when enough of us show that we've had enough. We need to protect each other and honor those survivors with displays of our collective humanity. This means more than thoughts. It means having the hard conversations with the people in our lives who don't understand the extent of the hell these families are enduring. It means supporting organizations like the Coalition for Human Immigration Rights, who are fighting on the front lines, mobilizing rapid response teams, providing legal defense, and fighting for those policies that protect these vulnerable communities. They need resources to keep doing this work. If you can, please donate. And if you can't, please share their work, amplify what they're doing. I also want to close by reading what Jennifer said that she loves most about her uncle. She said, "What I loved about him was his work ethic. He was always on time. He was an amazing dad, the breadwinner for his family, the sacrifices he made as an immigrant, and the love he has for his 2 children. He has never taken a single opportunity for granted. Every day he works long hours, often in tough conditions, not because he had to, but because he wanted to give his family a better life. Despite the challenges he faced, the language barriers, limited resources, and the pressure of providing for his kids, he never complained and never gave up. He always showed up, he always pushed forward, and always put his family's needs before his own. His dedication, resilience, and commitment are a true reflection of the kind of man and father he is. His work ethic isn't just strong, it's inspiring, and it's the kind of strength that holds a family together." So when you sit down your table this week. Remember Jennifer's uncle in that basement. Remember every empty chair that is probably all around the country, and then do something about it.